It's Martin here, and in this video I want to tell you how to live a long, healthy life as a type 1 diabetic. This video is especially for you if you're someone living with type 1 diabetes and want to preserve your health. You want to live a long, healthy, happy life as someone living with type 1 diabetes. So let's jump right into it. And I want to give you a little bit of my diagnosis story so you kind of can see how where I came from with this disease. So I didn't have diabetes all my life. I was diagnosed at 22 years old. I had the typical symptoms of excessive thirst. I had constant urination. I was losing a lot of weight. And I knew something was wrong, so I decided to go to the doctor. When I go to the doctor, and I'm telling him what's wrong and everything that's happening, and he decides to check my blood sugar level, and my blood sugar level was 270 something. And I was fasted. So he looks at me, he tells me, sorry, you got unlucky. It seems like you have type 1 diabetes. Now there's more to that story, but that's the short version of it. And you can only imagine what I felt when they diagnosed me with type 1 diabetes. I didn't understand how I was a healthy kid. I had everything going for me. I had a very good job, everything. I was living the life, and all of a sudden it felt like my life got ripped right underneath me, and I fell into a lot of depression. And I talk about it more in other videos, but what was difficult about my new diagnosis was thinking that I was gonna deal with diabetic complications. They told me that it's part of the disease, that maybe in 5, 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or down the line of my life, I could go blind, I could have all these problems, I can go into kidney failure. And that's what really made diabetes and living with diabetes very hard. It was the fear of diabetic complications, and it was like everything I did, I couldn't, no matter what I did, I couldn't control the fluctuations, and I couldn't manage my sugar levels in a way where I was in control. I felt like I had no control over my disease. I felt like I had no control over my blood sugar levels, leading to me feeling like I had no control over my future. And I was in a really bad state of mind, but during this time, I decided to do whatever I can in my power to search for the answer. I knew there was no cure to type 1 diabetes, but I wanted to search for a solution. How can I live a long, healthy life? And that's when I stumbled across an amazing person. His name is Dr. Bernstein. He's an 87-year-old endocrinologist living with type 1 diabetes for over 60 years with little to none diabetic complications. And what he says, you have to emulate the same sugar levels as someone with a working pancreas, and you can avoid diabetic complications. Your life doesn't have to be filled with this possible suffering. And that was enough for me to embark this journey of, okay, I need to figure out how to have the same sugar levels as someone with a working pancreas. Now, keep in mind, my doctors never told me this. They told me, yeah, keep your sugar levels, your A1Cs around 7. And the reason why they said that after doing more and more research is because they don't want type 1 diabetics to have lower A1Cs, because they think that that's going to lead to lows, and a low can be a lawsuit for them. And it's the way it is, it's the way the medical system is. But it's my job as a type 1 diabetic to preserve myself as much as possible. And the key to that is to have the same sugar levels as someone that's my age and that has a working pancreas. If I could do that, if I can have a normal sugar levels, I will avoid all diabetic complications. So that's the first thing you have to understand. In order to live a long, healthy life, you have to have the objective of having normal sugar levels. Don't settle for fluctuations in sugar levels. Don't settle for having sugar levels in the 7s, in the 8s. You have to do whatever you can in your power to strive for those good sugar levels. So that's number one. Prioritize normal sugar levels. And I can guarantee to you is that once you have normal sugar levels, your body's going to function better. Your life is going to be just much better, because you're going to be more in control of this disease. A lot of people think that because you have lower A1Cs means more lows, and that's not necessarily true. My A1Cs are in the low 5s, and I actually have way less lows than when they were in the higher ranges. So the key here is to have normal sugar levels, more control over your disease, and that's what's gonna enable you to live a long, healthy life. You want to have a family, you want to have a future, you want to be able to, live into your old, and the world needs you. So make sure you make that as a priority. And there's a couple things that go into managing diabetes. So number one, the first thing is nutrition. The way you eat is going to determine a lot of how easy it is to manage sugar levels. And you could say whatever you want. People tend to think, oh, I have type 1 diabetes, but I could eat whatever I want. And the reality is you shouldn't be eating whatever you want. People shouldn't just be eating ice cream all day, every day. Shouldn't eat candy, shouldn't eat sugar the way America does. I live in America, I live in New York, and I see very unhealthy consumerism. And you can't eat whatever you want. There's the way food peaks. For example, if you eat a piece of bread, it's really hard to inject yourself with insulin and then match the peak of the insulin with the way the bread breaks down in your bloodstream. So it's much easier if you set yourself up and you eat a certain way that helps you keep sugar levels stable. I always like to say lower carb is the easiest way. It's like training wheels. And then once you get better at it, you can manage more carbs and then put carbs into your diet, and then things get easier. But start easy. The law of small numbers. The less amount of carbs, the less insulin, the less room for error. And that leads to number two that is very important on managing type 1 diabetes is exercise. Exercise, move your body around. It's very important for us to be healthy and do physical activity, because that makes our body flow better. Our body's not created to sit down in a desk all day and have this sanitary lifestyle. It's meant to move around. It's meant to be physical. And when you move around, that's also going to help you manage your disease better. It's going to help absorb the insulin much better. And also you're going to feel amazing. You're going to look better. You're going to feel more confident in yourself. You're going to perform better. It's also good for your mental health. Moving and exercise is priority and should be priority for you managing type 1 diabetes. And the third thing in managing type 1 diabetes is very important, is that you track your sugar levels. You learn how to adjust your insulin dosages for different meals. You learn how to adjust your basal insulin by tracking, by seeing the information your body's giving you, and that's building more awareness over yourself. You're going to realize, okay, there's a pattern. Every morning I'm waking up with this sugar level. Maybe there's something wrong with my basal. And the tracking is built. You're starting to see patterns. And when you see more patterns, you can make adjustments. And that makes you just more in control. And you start seeing, okay, maybe I shouldn't eat this food because this food spikes me to this level. Or maybe I should try this, and maybe I should try this. And the more you track, the more awareness you build over your own sugar levels, and the more intuition you build. And it gets to a point that it's going to be second nature to you. I don't pay attention to my diabetes as much as I did in the beginning. And it's just, I build habits that I know if I keep on doing these simple habits, my diabetes management is going to get easier and easier and better and better. And I'm just going to build more awareness, more intuition over my own sugar levels. And that's what it's all about. Having control over your own sugar levels will give you a more normal life per se. You're not going to be scared of going low. You're not going to be scared of, eating certain foods and spiking. You're going to feel confident and in control over your sugar levels. That's the most important thing. Those three things will get you a long way with this disease. But remember, number one priority is to emulate the same sugar levels as someone with a working pancreas. That's what's going to give you a long, healthy life. And you do that with nutrition, exercise, and tracking everything. And hopefully this video inspires you and motivates you to really get in tune with yourself, to really take your diabetes management to the next level. And again, I want to see you healthy. I want to see you thrive with diabetes, not just survive. I want to see every type 1 diabetic live a good life, a normal life, where they're not constantly dealing with these fluctuations and also fear of diabetes and what's going to happen with my future. It's in your control. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard, but it's in your control. Now, I want you to know that you're not alone in this battle. And I made a Facebook group to help other diabetics and to be in a community of like-minded people to improve A1C. So if you want to join a Facebook group filled with other like-minded type 1 diabetics, click on the description below, and you will it will give you a link, and that link will take you to that Facebook group. Or if you're someone that wants help and you're someone that says, I'm not sure where to start, I'm not sure exactly what I need to do, but I want to improve my A1Cs right away, you can also click on the link below, and there is a free strategy session that I offer to every type 1 diabetic. Just go through the website, fill out the free application, and then I'll get back to you. So yeah, let's do this. Let's own diabetes. Let's show the world what is possible living with this disease.